you like a cigarette, Nick?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for those instances of on-screen nudity that had long-standing cultural ramifications, either within the movie industry or upon people's sensibilities of morality or sexuality. Note that we are excluding adult films.
I don't know any other, director who let an actor, do that,
Number 10, Kate Winslet, Titanic.
The last thing I need is another picture of me looking like a porcelain doll. As a paying customer,
Kate Winslet has gone on the record stating that the aftermath of this nude scene for 1997's Titanic was personally very difficult for her. The actress received a lot of media attention for the sequence where she poses nude during a portrait session with her co-star Leonardo DiCaprio. Titanic is seen today as one of the most watched and most owned movies of all time, making Winslet's nude scene one of the most viewed in modern memory.
So serious.
The sequence remains artistically shot and without any of the prurient or exploitable elements often associated with these types of scenes.
It was the most erotic moment of my life. Up until then, at least.
Number 9, Jason Segel, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Hey, you got here fast.
Segel truly bears it all in this scene in more ways than one. This famous moment from Forgetting Sarah Marshall is equal parts hilarious and heartbreaking. After confidently strutting in to shake his snake at his girlfriend, Segel's character is faced with an unexpected breakup, as is the thrust of the rest of the film, pun intended.
I've been feeling for a long time that we've been growing apart, and we're leading different lives.
The nudity in this scene is not only extremely bold and comedically acted, but it's also based on a real experience from Segel's own life. With that in mind, it's hard to imagine a more vulnerable performance. It's no surprise that this nude scene has been remembered so vividly since its release.
But maybe if we just held each other or something, you would remember what it's like to be with me.
No.
Number 8, Michael Fassbender and Carey Mulligan, Shame.
Morning. Nice earring. Hot date.
It's a question as old as the acting profession itself. Is this nudity essential to the plot? Well, this definitely is the case with regards of 2011's Shame, and it stars Michael Fassbender and Carey Mulligan. The topic of sex addiction is one that's laid bare, pardon the pun, within the film. Shame earned an NC-17 rating thanks to its frank and explicit nudity from both actors, with Fassbender's story being particularly compelling.
Try not talking. Try just listening or thinking for change.
The sex act isn't glamorized here, but instead taken from the perspective of a person without control. Shame, as a result, utilizes nudity as a narrative construct and does so in a remarkably effective manner.
I'm sorry.
You're always sorry.
Number 7, Animated Animals, Fritz the Cat.
Hey, man.
The poster just sort of says it all. 1972's Fritz the Cat proudly proclaimed that it wasn't rated X for nothing, baby. This came down to Fritz the Cat being the first animated film to be saddled with this rating, and for very good reason.
I know of a place where we can be alone to join our souls in sacred truth.
Hey!
Sausage Party from 2016 wasn't the first bit of animation with explicit content to its name, since Fritz goes all the way within its satire of youth culture during the 1970s.
Do you hear anything, Ralph?
It sounds like a bunch of degenerates in there.
The combination of political commentary, social caricature, and explicit animal nudity was par for the course for director Ralph Bakshi, who made a career out of transgression. Fritz the Cat is definitely not for kids, but those interested in outsider cinema are highly encouraged to seek this one out. Number 6, Shannon Elizabeth, American Pie.
Jim, there's a young lady here to see you.
Hey, Nadia.
Hi, James. Ready to study?
Oh, he's always ready to study. He's a real bookworm, this kid.
This coming-of-age sex comedy largely riffs upon tropes laid down by films such as Porky's decades prior. Several scenes had everyone talking in 1999, including Shannon Elizabeth's. When exchange student Nadia comes to Jim's house to study, he sets up a webcam so that he and her friends can spy on her undressing.
Did I miss anything?
No, you were just in time.
However, he accidentally shares the live stream with the entire school. Nadia soon strips down and becomes preoccupied. Let's be honest, this scene has not aged well. Jim is called out, but only because he gets, overly excited.
What happened? What did he do?
He blew it.
I guess I'll be going now.
Nadia is humiliated and forced to leave the country, but somehow she and Jim have become buds by the end. In a way, we guess this scene still has people talking.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on.
Number 5, Mark Wahlberg, Boogie Nights.
May I see it?
Really?
Please.
Did you know you're everything I prayed for? Did you know?
Thank you, Eddie.
Male and female nudity is commonplace on streaming services like Netflix, but this wasn't always the case. This is what makes Mark Wahlberg's scene at the climax, pun intended, of Boogie Nights so notable. Let's forget the other nude scenes from actors like Heather Graham or Julianne Moore for a moment. The reveal of Wahlberg's prosthetic manhood at the end of Boogie Nights was shocking for some viewers. Director Paul Thomas Anderson riffed upon real personalities of the adult industry for this film, and even cast a few as well. The Wahlberg reveal here is a tribute to troubled adult icon John Holmes, yet the execution is far from glamorous.
I'm Brock Landers, so I'm gonna be nice.
Number 4, PJ Souls, Halloween.
Okay, later. Have a good time. We definitely will.
Nudity was nothing new within the world of 70s horror. That said, the nudity of PJ Souls in John Carpenter's Halloween served as something of a transitional piece. Souls' sex scene with her boyfriend is presented in a fairly natural way and doesn't demonize her character. Yet the sequence is an early example of sexually active female characters becoming murder victims in slasher films.
I'll be right back. Don't get dressed.
Those films would eschew the character development of Halloween or the earlier Black Christmas and codify the final girl tropes. More and more, only the virginal females would be allowed to live, while the sexually active PJ Soulses of the world would be condemned to horrible deaths.
And are you all right?
Number 3, Phoebe Cates, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Hi, Brad. You know how cute I always thought you were.
Home video boomed during the 1980s, which made it a perfect time for VHS copies of Fast Times at Ridgemont High to fly off store shelves. This was thanks not only to Amy Heckerling's respectful treatment of teen characters in a high school setting, but also one particularly iconic nude scene. Phoebe Cates' sequence at the pool is perhaps one of the most rewound scenes from the home video era, although the entire thing is a bit of a bait and switch. On one hand, the front-loading of Kate's nudity is sure to evoke titillation within its audience. However, the back end takes the wind out of the scene's sails via Judge Reinhold's Brad and his massive, embarrassment.
Did anybody knock anymore?
Number 2, Diego Luna and Gael Garcia Bernal, Y tu mamá también. There's a very fluid sexuality at play in Y tu mamá también. This story of an adult woman on a road trip with 2 teenage boys indulges in every sort of coupling that equation can conjure up. This includes one between Diego Luna and Gael Garcia Bernal near the end of the film. Gay sex scenes were still tiptoeing into the mainstream back during the early millennium, as evidenced by the media attention paid to films like Brokeback Mountain. Luna and Bernal's scene remains notable for other reasons, however, including their young age and full frontal nudity. Y tu mamá también is more than just a coming-of-age story, however, and sets up each sex scene sensibly within the film's narrative.
Quítate la toalla.
¿Qué?
Te quites la toalla.
La
toalla? Sí, la toalla.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Sharon Stone, Basic Instinct.
Would you tell us the nature of your relationship with Mr. Boz?
I had sex with him for about 1.5 years. I liked having sex with him. He wasn't afraid of experimenting.
It's one of the most famous bits of on-screen nudity from the 1990s, as well as another frequently rewound moment from the halcyon years of VHS. However, the interrogation scene from Basic Instinct also serves as an interesting time capsule with regard to consent, regret, and the business of filmmaking.
I don't make any rules, Nick. I go with the flow.
Sharon Stone's role in this film helped launch her into the A-list stratosphere, but the actress has come out in more recent years claiming that she didn't realise the scene would be so explicit. She also maintained that director Paul Verhoeven didn't show her the scene's final cut. Verhoeven, for his part, told Cinema Blend that there was no way he could have filmed the scene without Stone knowing his intentions.
It's nice.
Do you care if on-screen nudity is exploitative, or is it all just part of the business for selling movies? Let us know in the comments.
There goes the hot water.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.